So welcome to the Lovefly podcast. And this week we're joined by Rayne. Hello, Rayne, and guest.
Hello. Oh, well, this is my daughter in the background who's
Hello. Welcome to the
who just flew with me. So
So there may be some extra input from the door. What's your name, please? I missed your name.
I don't know if they can hear. So
I can't.
I'll
I can't hear you.
an earpod over or whatever they're
Earpod.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
It's not an AirPod. What is it? Just a
Headphone.
headphone. There you go. Like I don't have the Apple one.
There we go. I can hear you.
Nice to meet you as well. You are?
Nice to meet you. Sorry?
You are.
Mr.
Oh, I'm Phoenyx.
Phoenix.
Phoenyx.
Got it.
Or we just go by Nick. NYX.
All right. All right. Well, welcome to the podcast. And I'm keen to hear your story. We have met before because Rayne helped me with some bit of research that I did a while ago when I was doing my master's. And we had a bit of an interview and it was really, really helpful for my research. So thank you again for that. But yeah, welcome. So tell us your story. Tell us who you are and how you found us and all the rest of the stuff that you know normally happens on the podcast.
All right. You got it. So I go by Rayne, but I'm Lorraine or I'm Hurley, because I've just moved my name backwards on Facebook. And some of you probably see me pop in and out a lot over the last couple of years. And I discovered you. Oh, I guess it was a divine intervention, I would say. Yeah. I was in another group, which I shall not mention, and they are very nice. But then I found Lovefly. And boy, I'm so glad I did, because I think several of us are in other groups as well that are for people that have a fear of flying. But with Lovefly, you'll find it is so warm, so friendly, so on the ball. You really don't have to wait long, rarely, for a response to any post. Somebody will jump on it quickly. There's a lot of people. I mean, take Geeta, for example. Geeta, wow, she was afraid of flying, and now she's a bloody pilot, right? I mean, come on now. When do you ever join a group and go from somebody who's afraid of flying and then you start taking lessons on flying a plane? I mean, come on. I mean, she's just an inspiration. If you look up inspiration, like you'll see a picture of her in the dictionary. Just amazing. So positive. There are so many people in this group that are really angels on earth when it comes to support, and they really do hold your hand. I mean, Peter, St. Peter or what? He is just so lovely. So lovely. Bing bong. That's what I always think. Bing bong, Peter, bing bong. He's just wonderful. Always helpful, always just such a remarkable human being. Definitely restores your faith in humanity. We need to clone more people like Peter on this planet, I think. So helpful. Yeah, there's several people on there that are just always quick to help. Always. And they really genuinely care. I mean, I got a message from I think it was Debbie, who's on there a lot. Just checking in on me, making sure I was all right. It's just lovely. It's really lovely. People really genuinely do care.
Yeah, they are amazing, and it's quite humbling when I see Hannah.
Humbling.
I go on there sometimes. I'd be lucky if I'm the first to reply to anything.
Well, you've got a million other things to do. Not that we don't all have a million other things to do, but you definitely do have a million other things to do. And
well, everyone does, don't they? But it's just I can't get on there quick enough sometimes. There's people on there before you. I'm just like, oh.
And needless to say, I really have, in the last 2 years, I don't think I've ever been back in the other group. I just stick with this one because everything I need is there. It's a one-stop shop. You know, the warmth, the knowledge, the camaraderie, it's everything. It's just really a lovely, lovely place to be.
Oh, Well, that's it. That's like an advert on its own. That is. That's just, yeah. So tell us your fear flying story. I mean, I know it, but
I know it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know, I was trying to think earlier, where did it come from? That's Betsy, by the way. Where did it come from? And for those who are not visually able, that I just showed one of my dogs. So I don't know where it started. My first flight ever was, I was 10 years old, and I grew up in England, but my father is from Ireland. So he took us on a trip home to Cork City, and we flew Aer Lingus and we flew British Airways. And I thought it was the best thing in the world. I mean, at that age, I had zero fear. I mean, the plane could have been, you know, rocking and rolling all over the place. I wouldn't have known any different. I had nothing to compare it to. And I was so impressed with the Shamrock, what do you call that? Coasters.
Yeah.
I still have one. I still have a Shamrock coaster. I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. And then I probably didn't fly until I was, in my early 20s. Yeah, where I went to Greece. Don't think I had a huge fear of flying at that point. It was still, you know, short haul, like 2 or 3 hours, I don't remember. And then I went to Turkey, which was about 3 hours. And I think I was I was a smoker back then as well. And I think back then, although I'm sure I look much younger than I am, just kidding. Back then you could smoke on airplanes, so I'm kind of giving my age away. Yeah, at the back. You could smoke at the back because it doesn't drift to the front, does it?
No, the smoke knows it can't go past, you know,
past the curtain. That's the no enter zone. So I was smoking back at that time. So I think it probably started to develop a little bit then, but not really debilitating in so. Then when I was around 24, I went to Italy for a couple of years. So that was a 3 hour at Naples, 3 hour, 15-minute flight, back and forth. Easy to go home. I really didn't have the fear again then. It was just, you know, a puddle hop, and I was home. Smaller plane, so of course you felt turbulence more. It wasn't really until I did my first long haul. And that was when I decided at the age of, what was I? I don't know, maybe 25, something like that. I can't even remember. I wanted to go and live in New York. So I decided I'm going to get on a plane and I'm going to go over to New York City and I'm going to be a nanny. And I did. And of course, then I started to think, oh my gosh, I'm going to be flying over the ocean. I'm going to be flying in this huge thing. And I started to panic. And I remember, I don't know if this is going to be too much information, but I remember going for a wee and the seatbelt sign came on. I'm trying to hover and do my business. And I was all over the place in there. And I was like, what is happening? So that was probably my first recollection of real turbulence.
Yeah.
That scared me. And to this day, years later, I'm still terrified of turbulence, even though, and this is this is just me because I'm very stubborn and I think I get things in my head and it's very hard to get rid of it. Have I come a long way? Absolutely. And because of Lovefly and because of the 30-day Fear of Flying course and your book. But have I gotten over it? No, I still can't stand turbulence. I still, I think the only time I ever enjoy a flight is if I've had quite a few stiff drinks and I've conked out. And then I'm like, are you ready? Or if I take a Xanax. And these last 2 flights that I just did from the States to Heathrow, I did completely straight. Didn't take a Xanax, didn't get drunk lotto because I had my 19-year-old with me and I wanted to be 100%.
Yeah, and she's nodding. She's going.
Yeah.
She's here to corroborate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the one right next to her.
Yeah.
Ever since you brought me home, I don't think you've got on a plane without me.
Oh, yeah, because, of course I flew to China too, didn't I? Twice. Yeah, twice. So, yeah, that was another whole story. That flight to China. Oof. But that's another 45 minutes. Yeah, on the bench. Sorry. So, and now I've completely lost track. So I think, no. The flight to New York. Yeah, that was probably my first. That's the first time you remember turbulence. It may have happened on previous flights, but it didn't do anything. I mean, it didn't scar me or anything. And I don't know if that actually scarred me, but I definitely remembered it. And then, of course, every time I've flown sick, I sit there waiting for it to happen. But it doesn't always happen. And I'm gonna mention all of these things because I'm hoping, like my last post, I'm hoping that it will trigger something for somebody else and help them, make them realize, hey, maybe I am normal, because I do a lot of crazy things. I have crazy rituals that I thought I was a little bit insane or a little bit, mentally touched. You know what I mean? But then when I see other people post things, it makes me feel better. I'm like, well, I'm not the only one that does.
So I'm not laughing at you. I'm just laughing at it.
No, I don't care. You can laugh away. You can laugh. I've had worse things happen. So you can laugh away and be, gosh, this one's seen it all. But it just, I think it's very helpful to hear other people's experiences because you can relate. Now, some people might be sitting there going, oh my God, she's nuts. But then probably other people sitting there going, oh, I could have
definitely
said that.
Yeah.
And that's why I thought it was really important to do this podcast.
So tell us about some of these things then. Come on.
Okay, so
Confess.
This isn't something that's happened every flight. This is one of my new things, I would say the last few years, where I've got this thing, now I have to buy new socks. So my new thing is we have to have lucky
socks.
Anybody that's on that flight with me, obviously that I know, not going to go to random people and say,
Give them socks.
So everyone has to have new socks on.
Yeah, we all have to have a new stock for the flight. I don't know where this came from. It was just something that popped in my head and I'm like, oh, these must be my lucky socks. So now I need a new pair of lucky socks because the luck might not be in those anymore.
Yeah, I brought my lucky socks and my other pair of lucky socks to England for the flight back.
This is the curse.
She asked me before we were packing up, do you have your lucky socks unpacked?
So what do you make of this, Nick?
I think it's funny. I mean, I get a cool pair of socks and they always have to be cool. Like they have to have something on it.
They can't just be like
plain socks. No,
if they were just plain socks, they wouldn't be lucky, would they?
Yeah, they wouldn't be lucky. Yeah. So I have like really cool socks every time I fly, and then you have to like take your shoes off while you're doing the TSA check, so that everyone sees my cool socks. It's definitely one of the weird but charming rituals that she has.
And they are rituals. I know that they are, and I know like the logical part of my brain is saying to me, that has zero effect, right? But then there's this other side. It's like the angel and the devil. In what was that movie? Not how.
Where's Mowgli?
No. From years ago, where the angel and the angel and the devil are on the shoulder. I don't remember what the film was now, but anyway, so the desert thing, you better take those socks or I'm going to get you this time. And the angel's like, so there's that constant battle in my head. And then, of course, I've got my rosary beads and all of those things, and my home altar that I sprinkled all over the cases, and myself and Nick.
I get sprayed with water before I go on a plane.
Yeah, and I
remember water.
Holy water. Yeah, it's not tap. And I remember years and years. I mean, we're talking about almost 30 years ago. My friend was driving me to Heathrow because I was coming back to the States So it's maybe around 25 years ago. She's driving me back, and I'm like, oh my God, I've got nothing holy with me. I made her take me to, what's that bookstore? Water something? Water, the bookstore.
Waterstone?
Yeah, that's it. I made her take me via that bookstore on the way to Heathrow so I could buy something that was holy, like a holy book or something.
Okay.
So I have all these rituals. Yeah, I know.
And you bless the plane.
Oh, no, that's my other thing. I always have to do the sign of the cross on the plane before I get on it.
Okay.
Like, I do it on the plane itself.
Yeah, like right next to the door.
Right next to the door, and I'm sure the flight attendants are looking at me going, oh, yeah, we've got another one here. But it just makes me feel better.
Yeah. Okay. So I think I really enjoy about this is how much fun you're delivering this, that you're not embarrassed about this, you're quite owning it, aren't you?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I know I've got hang up. Put it politely. Embarrassed. You know,
Yeah.
I'm actually quite sane, believe it or not, in normal life.
You don't need lucky socks in other areas of your life?
No, another. I mean, I still use my rosary, but I don't have to wear. I'm not wearing any socks right now. I'll have you know. There you go.
It's a non-threat situation, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Non-threat. Poor Deb, bless her, when she messaged me and said when she did her podcast, she was more nervous about this than she was flying. And I was like, and it's almost like when you look around at other people on the plane who are sitting there, and the plane could be jumping around, and they're just sitting there. Reading the newspaper, you know, having a cup of tea and not even batting an eyelid, and then there's
with an old pair of socks on,
with an old pair of socks on,
living the dream,
living the dream, and don't even care. Yeah, and then it's all about perspective, I suppose, or just what we have in our heads, what we tell ourselves.
So. You said you've improved. What were you like then before the lucky sock era?
I walked myself right into that one, didn't I? I used to bawl my eyes out.
Impressive.
I mean, I was just like an ugly cry. There would be like tears.
Oh, you said bawl your eyes out. I said bawl your eyes out. I was thinking that's impressive.
No, bawl, you know, like BAWL, is it?
Yeah, bawl my eyes out.
My eyes out. Just sob uncontrollably. And that was before I had the kids with me. So I'd be on my own, and the flight attendant, I just missed another hang up I had, and you'll appreciate that one somewhat. But the flight attendants were always fabulous. I had it in my head I could only ever fly Virgin. Virgin were the only airline I could fly. Anybody else was going to be a disaster. But of course, when I left New York and moved to Florida, lucky for me, Virgin flew from Miami to, I wasn't in Miami, but that was the closest international airport to London. But then when I moved here to North Carolina, Virgin don't fly from here. And this is not a plug for Virgin, but I still compare every airline to Virgin. And unfortunately, as I know that they all adhere to every rule, they all have the same strict requirements, etc. But the service just does not come close. Virgin are elite. They really are. They're so much more superior, in my humble opinion. And so this last time I flew direct, but every time before that I've gone extra. I've flown to New York just so I could fly on Virgin.
Oh, I'm going to have to tell her this. I'm going to say, you've got to listen to this one.
Yeah. No, they're going to ban me from every flight now. They're going to be like, no, I paid hear all of it. And they're like, oh, God, I've heard blessed in the plane. Worry. In fact, I got a letter once from Richard Branson.
With some socks enclosed, or?
Some socks, absolutely. Do you know how long ago I used to fly Virgin when they used to give those little yellow rubber ducks?
Oh, yeah, they were cute.
Rubber duck.
I collected them. I had so many of them.
Are those
In fact, I flew Virgin so much, I had a free flight with them once.
Are those the rubber ducks that you used to put in my bath?
Yes. Yeah, they were stolen property. So you know.
You gave
Contraband.
me airplane ducks to play with.
In the bath. They were so cute, though. They were so cute. I loved it when they did that. But, well, I've probably covered how many subjects now?
You were saying
I'm going a mile a minute.
Well, you were saying something about your other hang up that you missed.
No, that was it. About
that was
I
it?
could only fly version.
No.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So you said you've improved. You started talking about that, and then we came back. And we had
Oh, yeah.
added in.
So the sobbing, I would sob uncontrollably. And the flight attendants were always good. And of course, if there was a spare seat, one of them would sit next to me. And after a while and a couple of beers, I would be fine. And of course, I would watch their faces constantly. And I still watch faces. I don't cry when I board the planes now.
Wow. So that's an improvement, isn't it?
That's an improvement. I can tell people things about flying. Like, I've learned so much. For example, a friend of mine said to me the other day, I just don't understand why they can't just fly this way. Why do they have to go? I said, well, did you know that all aircraft have to be at least 3 hours away from an airport? It's the requirement. And of course, who knows that stuff?
Yeah,
People on Lovefly.
I asked you on the flight back, oh, why can't they just paint the plane pink or like a really cool color? And she's like, well, did you know?
Yeah, they can't. They have to be white because blah, 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 blah. So I know all these things now, and I think knowledge definitely is power. I think that helped me a lot. The fact that, apps like Flight Aware, where you can see all those yellow planes in the sky, is just incredible. I mean, even though I still don't really like flying, and I probably won't ever, then that's nothing to do with you or, all the thoughts that you give us. That's because, we've already established that I'm a little different. I still love to watch planes take off and land. I love the sound. I'm fascinated with it. I love watching that stuff. I could sit there at the airport and just watch it all day. I love it. It's just, forget train spotting. It should be plane spotting.
They are cool though, aren't they?
I still, how does it happen? And here I am in North Carolina, Wright brothers.
First in flight,
apparently. So, and I love listening to Captain Steve as well. I like listening to him a lot. I think he's very, very helpful. So tell him I said hello as well.
I will do. Yeah.
Yeah.
I keep trying to tempt him back to do some more podcasts, but he's pretty much said everything he knows.
He has, but I think with that whole thing about, here is where I have improved. So the whole Singapore Airlines thing, right? You're thinking, you don't sound like you've improved. Trust me, I have improved. I got called in. I've flown now, and I probably won't fly again till next year when hopefully I won't have to fly, only because if I have to fly again, it'll be an emergency because of my elderly father. I'm hoping that it will be designated in good term. My husband called me into the room and said, oh, did you hear about the Singapore Airlines flight? And of course said it had to be a Boeing 777, which I had just flown. And I'm like, no, what happened? So he told me what happened, and he had CNN on. And they had that Richard fella, the English fella, who was absolutely brilliant. He just, didn't hype it up, just said, this is what happened. It's pretty rare, and didn't do what most media sites will do and really ran it up and say, oh my gosh, it was terrible. And I don't know if it's the fact that I've already flown and I don't have to get on a plane anytime soon. I really do think that even if this had happened just before I flew, I think I would have had the same, if not very similar reaction and said, well, hello, these people were clearly not seatbelted in. Turbulence is, you've got the clear air turbulence, which clearly this was. You don't know that that's going to happen. There's no such thing as an air pocket, which I know. And we don't know if this person who had the heart attack had heart issues. And yeah, it would have been frightening for people that didn't have a clue. I mean, I remember taking off once and the plane dropped and it felt like it was dropping so much. The flight attendant just laughed. So by him laughing, he knew that it was completely normal. That reassured me, but I'd never experienced that before. So this poor fellow that did pass away may have had underlying issues, may have just been scared out of his wit. And it's dreadful, but it had nothing to do with the plane. It had nothing to do with Boeing. It was just one of those things. But at the end of the day, the plane got to and from where it was supposed to go.
Yeah.
It got diverted completely safely, unscathed. And this is why I always, from the moment I sit in that seatbelt goes on as tight as possible. Like I'm like one of those old time people that has the waist like that, tiny.
Yeah.
Yeah, my seatbelt is so tight. But it's comfortable. It's really not. So I've always got my seatbelt on.
Yeah.
Because I know about clear air turbulence and I know about these things.
It's funny because somebody said to me, because of the media coverage of it was shocking in terms of the way they did it and the images they showed and not telling you why what has happened. They speculate. And somebody I know quite close to me said, I can't believe what I heard. And I thought Singapore Airlines were a good airline. And I looked at them thinking, this is an intelligent person. It's like, what do you mean? I said, they don't get like special bad air or something. They were just, it could have been any airline. It just happened they were in that.
Yeah.
But I was just gobsmacked that someone who's an intelligent person would say that. And I was like looking at them thinking, really? So I was just like, oh, anyway, so there's a lot of nonsense out there. You're not avoiding the fact that these things can happen very, very occasionally. And tragic, this one, but,
Captain Emma put a post up, which I thought was really good, and she was explaining. I think even in the article, it said, when you're flying in areas where there isn't that much air traffic, when it's say like flying to Spain or somewhere in Europe or to the United States where it's like one after the other, they're all in communicado saying, hey, Bert, just so you know it's going to get bumpy here, you might want to go that way. You take the M25 instead of the A127 or whatever, where it's
so technical, right?
He or she, the pilot, didn't have all of that. So they did the right thing. They did put the seatbelt sign on as soon as they possibly could. And every airline tells you when you're in your seat, you really should keep the seatbelt on. But not everybody does, do they, unfortunately?
No. And to be honest, we don't really know the circumstances still of what happened. No. And, so it's just one of those things that, because some people want that certainty that this will never happen again. And the only thing I can say to people is, if you put seatbelt on, it won't happen to you. That's all I can say. But this sort of turbulence is very rare. People are often quite surprised when I say it. You'd only have to change altitude 4 feet, and that's enough to shock you. So it's it doesn't take much. Anyway, very sad. But so tell us. So you've obviously improved. So share some of the wisdom that you gained then. And obviously you've got a witness with you as well, so you can testify to your last flight. But tell us some of the things that you do that you think might help others.
I track the flight that I'm taking. I start tracking a week or two before. I track it going and I track it coming back on that flight away.
Because
it's a reminder, look, it got there safely. It came back safely.
Right.
Why are you sure one's going to be any different? And it also shows me all of those planes that are going to different places safely to and from. So I do that, and that is definitely a big help for me. I think I've been doing that in the last few flights, I would say. I've been doing that.
Is that something you have to do, would you say? Is it up there with the lucky socks, or?
I wouldn't say it's a ritual. I would say it's more of a comfort thing for me.
Okay.
I would say it's part of the ritual, because this time I think I've started tracking it later than I normally do. I think, what else do I do? Obviously, being in the group, talking to people in the group, watching everybody else's experiences, helps tremendously.
Yeah,
definitely. What other ways? I think, again, knowledge is power. It really is. The more you can learn about the little things that happen or why they happen, definitely does help. When there are things, I know that this time when we took off, I didn't have a window seat on the way out, so I couldn't see anything. I know now I really do prefer to be near the window so I can watch things. And again, the control thing. It comes down to, that was something I was going to say. I think that's why I have these rituals, because it's the only thing I can control. That, I think, when I dig deep amongst all the cobwebs, and I'm like, why do I do this?
I could have told you that.
And I think it is because it's the only control I have. Everything else is in the powers that be. So if I can have some control in any way, that's comfortable.
Okay. So there's some sort of logic to it, isn't there, really?
There is, yeah. So hopefully people haven't fallen asleep already and they'll get to that part and realise, it's 30 minutes in.
Yeah. So are you advocating lumpy socks, or is that an optional thing?
No, not at all. I'm not advocating that. Prayer is always good, but good for everything anyway. But no, it has nothing to do with whether you're going to get to your destination or not. It's just me. On the flight coming back, I noticed something I'd never noticed before. And I don't know what it was. Over the wing where the engine is underneath, there was like this stream. It looked like streamers, but it wasn't. It was like the air. And it looked like white ribbons, but it wasn't. It was there. I'd never seen that before. And I'm like, what is it?
Yeah, you freaked out a little bit.
And this one doesn't really know anything about airplanes and flying. Said, oh, it's completely normal. And I was thinking, like,
What do you know?
What do you know? You don't know nothing about that stuff. Because also, during flying, I'm like, okay, any minute now, the wheels are going to come down and there's going to be a really loud noise. I say every time. And I'm basically talking myself through it, even though I know this, but I'm verbalizing it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I'm waiting for it to happen. And it's exciting for me because I love landing. But I didn't know what that was. I've never seen that before. Do you know what I mean? It looked like a ribbon, but I knew it wasn't a white ribbon.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. I don't quite know. I'm not that technical when it comes to things like that.
Yeah, so that
You're asking one. Sorry?
Yeah, that was a first for me. I was like, what is that?
I did figure that it was the jet stream going around the wing because of our accelerated speed.
Yeah, but I hadn't seen it before, and I, sat near the window a lot.
Well, that makes sense, Nix. I don't quite know what it might be, but without having been there, I don't know.
Yeah, that's the only thing that I could think that it would have been. Maybe if somebody who is more clued in than I am, which isn't too difficult, might be able to give us the answer and tag me. Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of with the jet stream. But for some reason, I'd never seen it before. And I don't know.
I'll ask Jamie. Jamie has learned so much about the aircraft. He could probably be a good one. Yeah,
he's a good egg, isn't he, Jamie?
Yeah.
My flight 2 years ago when I was going home, and I hadn't flown for 4 years because of COVID and everything. He was such a rock for me. He was such a rock. He was tracking my flight, messaging me, even though I didn't get it till I got off the plane. But was so encouraging, just so encouraging.
Yeah, you sat next to a pilot.
Oh yeah, because last time we flew up to New York so I could fly Virgin, and the flight to New York on American Airlines was a little bit turbulent. Of course, it's a smaller plane, and you're just flying an hour and
a half,
something like that to New York. But I hated it because it was bumpy and it was a small plane. Well, lucky me, got sat next to an airline pilot, didn't I?
Yeah, he had this nifty device.
Yeah, this nifty device, and he's showing me all these things, and the plane was jumping all over the place. And I'm like, is this normal? Even though I knew it was normal, I still didn't like it. And he was like, oh, yeah. And he was getting ready to fly from JFK to Scotland. So, but he was showing me all these things.
And he thought he'd just have a nice, quiet flight.
Going to catch up on his sleep, but oh no, he got lucky thing got stuck next to me.
So you've made some proper progress, haven't you? Let's be honest. You are doing, even though you said I probably won't like it, which I was delighted to hear the word probably. I see that you've made some significant changes.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Here's the weird thing. Surprise, surprise. Last time I flew, as soon as I got off that plane, I was like, oh, I'm ready to get on another plane now.
Yeah, you were.
Somewhere else. And my kids were like, who are you?
Yeah, are you feeling okay?
I really want to I would go start traveling. I would this time I didn't come back feeling that way. And I don't know if it's because I just said I was completely sober. Or because there was a bit of turbulence this time. I don't know. But I flew Virgin last time, but then I flew 4 flights instead of 2 flights. But yeah, last time I was like, yeah, that's it. I'm going on the plane. And I do firmly believe the more you do something, the better it is. And I don't fly often enough. So that is probably why I'm not getting over it as well as I would like to. If I flew more often, I would definitely not have these hang-ups. I guarantee
it's the experience that helps you gain the knowledge.
That, is it anticipatory? Is that the word?
Sure.
Is that the right word? Anticipatory? Yeah. Anxiety is so real. And that is the worst of it. The build-up beforehand is just horrendous.
Yeah, you always make it out to be so much worse than it actually is.
100%.
So, the only thing that you really have to fight is this up here.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is all up here. Because all you have to do is Google what's the safest form of transportation. Airline, air travel. It is.
Open brackets, provided you're wearing lucky socks. Close
brackets. Lucky socks.
You're lucky socks.
Lucky socks.
You're lucky socks. Exactly. So, I mean, the evidence is there. It's just getting it thinking.
Yeah, well, there's still time. I mean, just think how far you've come. You know what I mean?
Definitely come.
And maybe more familiarity would help, more flights. Obviously, it's going to cost quite a bit of money in accessories for you and when he travels with you.
I'd have to learn how to knit some socks.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think the lucky socks is the first I've ever heard that. So that is, yay! I appreciate that. I had rabbit foot, lucky teddy bear, have to sit in a certain seat, but never, to my knowledge, lucky socks.
I like being
Maybe we get some Lovefly branded now. There could be a market in it.
Yeah.
We need to start making Lovefly socks.
Lovefly lucky socks.
Lovefly, tongue twister. That is Lovefly and lucky socks. Yeah.
Great ring to it, huh?
It does. I'll go on. What's that? Shark Tank.
Exactly. I have been teasing you, but joking aside, I think you've done amazing. You really have. You're improving, and even just being able to go on the flights, the last couple where you haven't been upset, you've not off your head, albeit the socks are a thing, but there's worse things, aren't there?
Oh yeah.
And the family get some more clothing out of it each time, so they're laughing. Yeah. They like it.
That's true.
Mm-hmm. And I make fun of her enough.
Yeah. Well, that's your job. That is your job. That's as parents, we wouldn't be happy unless our children can take the mick out of us.
True. Oh, they get it back. Trust me.
Yeah.
Constantly.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then we're going to wrap up. Give us some final wisdom, Rayne.
Keep doing it. Keep researching. Again, knowledge is power. Stay in the group, even after your flight, so you can support other people. because you don't know, when you're going to need it as well again. So knowledge is power. Turbulence is uncomfortable but safe. Track your flight. Just, it does help. But
You can do it.
you can do it. Just take the support from the group because it's there for a reason and it works. It does help.
Oh, there you go. Thank you so much. That's great. It's lovely to see you again as well. Nice to meet you.
Likewise.
Yeah, nice to meet you too.
I enjoyed that. I think that was an interesting angle, having you there to bear witness.
Well, I'll always come back if you have me again. If you have any other questions, like if you have any crazy people that want to speak to somebody else that's a little bit wacky off the wall, I'm more than willing. You know that. Anything you need, you just reach out to me, Paul, and I will be there.
Oh, thank you. And thanks again for today, and also for that help with the research you did before. So it was really good. And,
no, that's fine
again. I had seen you
anytime
for a while, and I thought I sort of noticed you come back. I thought, oh, there she is. Yeah,
I'm in and out. Yep.
No,
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Take care of yourself. All right. Thank you.
You too. Bye. Bye.